All right, so I have a little PowerPoint that I made for you. I know Chase was in my class already, so some of this stuff you're already going to know. But anyway, we have some new students today, and I just want everybody to start off on the same foot, I guess you could say. So I'm going to show you my PowerPoint here. Oh, that's the end of it. There we go. All right, this is my writing class, Cisneros writing class, and I'm the teacher, Mrs. Cisneros. The students usually call me Mrs. C, but as you can see in my Zoom camera, I have Lori Cisneros. That's my first name is Lori. Students usually call me Mrs. C, but I answer to all of the above there. So, and I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I have been a teacher for 22 years. I was in the traditional public school classroom for about 10 years to start. And then I did a few years with the private school. And then I kind of finished out my career in the classroom at a charter school, at Valley Oaks Charter School. For the last 8 years, I taught some in Bakersfield when I lived there, and now we moved to Tehachapi, and so I transferred up here. And during that time at Valley Oaks Charter School, I really got familiar with homeschool families, and I loved it. I loved working with parents. I loved talking about curriculum and helping find what's a great fit for students. And during that time, I also discovered that a lot of times parents struggle teaching math and writing. Those two subjects, over my experience with them, are the two that they tend to struggle the most in. And so it was in my heart to get trained in how to teach this program called IEW. It stands for Institute for Excellence in Writing. And I just love it. And I've seen such great progress with my whole homeschool families that I worked with there at Valley Oaks. So now I decided to branch out and just focus on teaching kids writing. I do online classes, but I also have one day where I do in-person classes up here in Tehachapi. So if anybody decides to move to Tehachapi, you can come to my in-person class up here. But for now, I'm doing it online as well. So that's how I got here. I've been married for 28 years, and I have 2 adult children. I have a son who's 27. He lives in Bakersfield. And then I have a daughter who just turned 25, and she is currently at home, but she's in between places. She used to live in Texas, and I would go visit her often there, and it's hot. So, but then now she's going to Kansas. So she's home for a little bit, and then she's going to leave again. But anyway, she's involved in the cowboy world with chasing cattle and riding horses and branding and all of that. She's my cowgirl. So, and my son is a techie guy. So I kind of have a little bit of both worlds there. He works on computer software and stuff like that. So that's a little background with me. So my husband and I live in Tehachapi. We live on a farm. So we have cows and horses and goats and chickens. And I feel like I'm missing something. I think that's all the animals. We used to have pigs, but now we have lots of pork. So anyway, we have a working farm here. So anytime I'm not in front of the camera or not teaching, I'm out working with animals and doing all of that, which is my passion. And it's my happy place. So the other thing I do, just to give you a little background with me, since I'm not working for the school district anymore, there was an opportunity for me to run in the elections for a seat as a trustee on the Kern County Board of Education. And I won the election in November of 22. So I actually am a trustee for the Kern County Board of Education. They meet in Bakersfield monthly. And I don't want to get into politics at all. I just want to say that I'm trying to help improve our school system. I'm just going to leave it there like that. It's a battle. So that's me, a little bit about me. I'm just going to keep going, but if you guys think of any questions or anything you want to say, feel free to just unmute. I don't mind if you interrupt or if you want to wave me down in the camera or whatever, because this is pretty casual for the orientation. So, okay, so here's an overview of my class. There are 30 weeks of lessons in the grammar book, and then 24 weeks of lessons in the writing binder, which is your IEW binder. And then on my calendar, between now and May, there's 34 weeks of classes. So you can tell that we will for sure finish the grammar book because we will do a lesson a week. As far as the binder, even though it only says 24 weeks, sometimes I spend a little bit longer on certain lessons because in my mind, the best thing to do is to make sure the students fully understand the skill before moving on to learning a new skill. So I might slow it down a couple of times throughout the year, but we're going to try our best to finish the binder by May. And then for each class, the first 20 minutes, I work with the students on grammar. I teach them the lesson, and then we do the first page together. And then their homework is usually, you'll see in the grammar book, days 2, 3, and 4. So each lesson, each week has 4 days of work. So I teach the lesson, we do day 1 together, and then they do 2, 3, and 4 for homework for the following week. And then the second part of the class, the 40 minutes, we focus on the writing, and that's in the binder. And the first thing we do is kind of review the homework, what they did and turned in. And then I teach the new skill or the new lesson, and then I assign the new homework for the week. So that's a little breakdown of how each class runs. Does anybody have any questions so far about anything yet? If not, you can just kind of shake your head. Okay. I usually do that. I'll say, okay, if nobody has a question, just shake your head. Then I know you're tracking and you're good. So the students' responsibilities are to be on time to class, be prepared with all your supplies. And we're going to talk about exactly what those supplies are in a little bit. Participate in class. So I usually want you to have I should restate that. I always want your camera on so I can see you. Sometimes I don't know how it happens, but Chase, sometimes your camera works its way up and all I see is your forehead. So if you could make sure to tilt it down so I can see your face. I know that happens sometimes, but I really because right now I can see all of you. That's why I keep my class sizes small so I can track everybody. There you go. That's better. And then to stay muted only if you have background noise at your house, like if you have family over or maybe dogs or somebody's working in the background. If you have background noise, you can stay muted, but typically if it's pretty quiet where you're at, I like you to stay unmuted so that it's easier to have conversation during class. Right now it's fine because we're just doing this orientation. And then to complete homework and turn in your homework on time and to show your best effort. Now, I know that we're not perfect, and I say we're not perfect because I'm not either. So I don't expect perfect spelling, perfect grammar, perfect sentences, perfect capitalization. I just expect your best. So whatever you are, wherever you're at with your skills, that's what I want to see. And then we'll build on that. The last bullet point just says, ask for help when you need it. So don't feel bad if you don't understand something you raise your hand in the camera, or you can use the little emoji. Those are things that you can do to get my attention, or even unmute and say, Mrs. C. Sometimes I meant to tell you that. Some people call me Mrs. C because it's easier to remember than Cisneros. Okay, so right now, though, before I forget, do you see your own video feed in the Zoom? If you hover with your mouse over your video feed, you're going to see 3 dots on the upper right-hand side. If you click those 3 dots, it brings up a little menu. And if you scroll down to rename, you can click rename, and then a little window pops up. I'd like for you to put your first and last name, as far as the student, in your Zoom call, because that's something we're going to do each time. It helps me and it helps the other students to remember who's who in there. So I'll give you a second to figure that out. And I know Matthew and Alexandria, you're both together, so you can put both names on there if you want, just to practice that. Yes, good. Thank you, Matthew. You see where that's at, Jude? Oh, you got it. There it is. So I know Chase has done Zoom classes with me. Has either Jude or Matthew, Alexandria, have you guys ever done a Zoom class before?
Yes, we have. Last year we did a natural history class.
Okay.
I have not done one.
Okay. So that, how I just showed you how to rename your Zoom, that's what you would do every day when you log into class, just so it has your name on there. And then I'll help you, Jude, because there's little ways you can chat and to use emojis and how to work the Zoom, but we'll learn that as we go in class. So now the parents have responsibilities too for this class. So the parents need to make sure your child is on time for class, completes and turns in homework on time, and reads own writing to you every week. So basically, the times that we actually have like a paragraph or two or three or whatever we're working on, once they finish their homework, I want them to read it to you, because I want you to hear what they're working on, number one. Number two, with reading it out loud, students are more likely to catch those little silly mistakes, like maybe they forgot a word like the or of or something like that, because they're writing or typing whatever and they don't catch that. But when they actually stop and come to you and hold their page and read it out loud, they're going to hear the little mistakes and hopefully fix those things. So a couple of reasons why I want you to listen to them read to you what they're working on. And then your job as a parent is to correct some errors. And I have the word some underlined because some students make lots of errors, and that's okay. Because like I said earlier, everybody is at a different place in their writing skill. And honestly, I still struggle with spelling. Chase knows. Right, Chase? Sometimes Chase helps me.
What?
I still struggle with spelling. That's what I was telling you.
Yeah, no one is.
Spelling. I struggle with that.
I never saw you spell something wrong, but I mean, it's impossible to spell everything right.
Well, probably, but I just want you all to know that spelling has always been difficult for me, especially at your age. I really struggled with spelling. I didn't get the right process of teaching with phonics and everything, so that's my excuse. But anyway, if you struggle with spelling, it's okay. And I ended up getting my master's degree. So it's possible to still make it through college and everything. So don't let things like struggling with spelling stop you, okay? You're gonna figure out a way to get around that. And I just am so thankful for spell check, number one. And even, sometimes I'll ask Siri how to spell something. That's not my favorite thing to do, because every time I say her name, I'm like, oh, is it listening to me? But anyway, correct some errors. If your student tends to make a lot of spelling errors or punctuation errors, if you spend all your time correcting, making them erase and correct and erase and correct, it's just going to be a nightmare for everybody. And I don't want that kind of stress. This class should not be stressful. It's going to be a challenge, but it shouldn't be stressful. So pick and choose some of the errors to point out, but not all of them. I will be focusing on grammar, sentence structure, and style. Those are the main things that I focus on. Every once in a while, I might bring up some punctuation or things like that. But as a parent, those are the three things: the spelling, punctuation and capitalization to kind of pay attention to when you're looking over their work, but don't grade everything. I mean, don't make them fix everything is what I'm trying to say. And then help your child only as needed, because this group is a level B. So your students are moving up in the grades, and they should be learning how to work independently a little bit more now. So that's my goal too, so that they can take this class independently from you. And all you're doing is just checking in. How was class today? Did you do you know what your homework assignment is? And when they get done with their homework, can I see your homework and things like that? But you're not teaching this or hovering too much, because we want the students to learn how to organize their binder and be able to do the work on their own. That's the goal. Okay. So if your student already is somewhat independent, great. If your student is dependent, that's okay. It'll be a process. We'll just work at letting them be responsible for their own stuff slowly. But that's where you'll be in touch with me to let me know how things are going on that end, because I see you on Zoom once a week. So, okay, check binder weekly just means make sure that the papers aren't all over the floor or in the wrong place, because on Zoom, this is what I see when I tell students to get their binders out. And it always gives me a little anxiety, because I'm going, oh man, okay, put them back in there, close the rings, But I'm trying to teach the students how to organize their binder too. And I walk them through it during class. But if you could just weekly check their binder, make sure everything's locked in and not loose. That way we can work at keeping it organized. And then of course, making payments and requesting the certificate monthly. This certificate is if you're a Heartland or Gorman charter student. And then communicate with me. So one of the modes of communication, there's a few. There's email, always email. There's Google Classroom, you can message through that. And then I also use an app called Remind, the Remind app. And I like that one. And I do require everyone to sign up with that, because I can send out a mass text to everybody. For instance, and it's happened before, because I'm up at 5,000 feet in Tehachapi, we'll get some big snowstorm. And then our power goes out, our internet goes out, and class is going to start in 10 minutes. And so I get on that Remind app and I say, classes are canceled until the power comes back on, or canceled till tomorrow, or whatever. You get the message, and then you can respond to my message, and I'm the only one that sees your response. So it's nice, because if I do a group text, then you'll get ding, 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 ding all day long with people responding. So the Remind app is very useful. Anybody have any questions so far with what I'm sharing? Go ahead, Matthew.
Well, it doesn't really have to what you're sharing, but
Okay.
you live in Bear Valley?
I live in Alpine Forest.
Is that near Bright Lake or no?
It is. I can see Bright Lake from my back door. So I'm up on a hill in Alpine. So I'm at 5,000 feet, but I can look down on Bright Lake.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're in Bear Valley. We have the same thing. We get big snowstorms and power outages. So
What is your altitude? Do you know?
5,200.
Okay. So yep, you're right there, a little higher than me. So especially this last winter, we had a big one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And we lost some trees, and our lines, our plumbing lines froze. And yeah, we had some challenges. And I heard, just side note, that this winter is going to be a tough one too. So I love the snow though, but sometimes, the internet doesn't. So anyway, any other thoughts, questions, comments about what we're talking about here? No, you guys are good? Okay. I'm going to move on. This is something I emailed you guys already, but I'm just going to review it really quick. So these are the supplies that you need to have in front of you, students, each time during class. Your IEW binder and Fix-It grammar book. Give me a thumbs up if you have your binder and book already with you. Did it come in the mail? Okay, I see Jude.
We do not have ours.
It might be at the mail. We haven't picked it up, but it's.
Okay.
I got notified it was mailed.
Oh, perfect. Okay. That's okay if you don't have it today. We're not really going to get into it yet. So, but hopefully by next week you'll have it because we'll start getting into the books by then. And then college ruled loose binder paper, at Walmart or wherever you go shopping. I need you to have at least 2 reams or 2 packages, not a whole lot, but at least 2. And then pencils. Go ahead.
Is that like lined paper?
It's lined paper. Yep.
All
And
right.
it's like this. It doesn't have the it's not like notebook paper. Yeah, I see yours, Matthew. So I prefer it without the spiral.
Okay.
Like that, if you can get that. If not,
Would you say?
It's loose, but
oh, it is. Okay.
it can go into a binder.
Okay. Yeah, because you'll need to move these pages around. If you have them in a spiral notebook, yeah, it'll be hard to move around. I think Kathleen said something, but I didn't hear what you said.
I said it's loose, so it's just not.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it then. And then pencils, either mechanical or regular, whatever you guys prefer. And then the ballpoint pens, blue or black, and at least 4 of those. This is for the year, okay, just to have a little kit for you. A pack of highlighters, 4 different colors. We're not going to use those until a little bit later, but I want you to have it ready for you. 4 colors, and then Post-it notes, the regular size, just like this size, the regular square size. And then this is optional, but I like a box or a bag for the students to keep their supplies together so that when it comes to class time, everything's there. The binder, the grammar book, and then a little bag or a little pencil box or something to keep everything together. You guys have any questions about the supplies? Okay. All right. And so I'm going to show you what the binder, I know that Matthew and Alexandria, you don't have your binder yet, but since Jude has yours and Chase, I saw that you have yours. Just going to show you if you could get that, if you have it with you. Let me show you mine. Okay, so I have a little document camera. I use this often during class so you can see what I'm looking at. But when you get your binder on the inside, all of this will come in a plastic wrapped. It's all wrapped in plastic. So really the only thing you need to do when you get your binder is to take that plastic off and then put everything in front of the tabs. Let me show you here. So I got to move one of these tabs because I did this already with a different class. So let me show you here. We're going to do our best to keep this organized, like I said. But when you get your binder, you'll see a bunch of different tabs here on the edge. So this whole packet that you get that's wrapped in plastic, just open the plastic and stick it right on top of the tabs. We're not going to move things around yet, but I wanted you to get it ready for that because next week when we start in our binders, we'll pull out the pages we need for the lesson. And then when we're done at the end of class, I'll tell the students where to put the pages that they took out. And that way everything stays together. So basically this whole stack right here that you take out of the plastic is going to go on top of the tabs. And then with your lined paper, I like the lined paper, a chunk of it on top of that first, let me see if I can, there we go. On top of this cover page, this picture here, at the very front of your binder is where you can keep your blank lined paper. So you know where it's at. If you run low, you just add more to it. And then it's easy because we use paper every day. Even though I know some of you might be typing, that's good because we'll talk about that too. But there's still a lot that we have to handwrite in this class, and I'll explain that as we go. Okay. Also, side note, at the very, very back of your binder, you'll find, well, not that, that's my stuff, but you'll find these plain white folded pieces of paper. Keep those in that pocket. We will use those. It's not trash. We need to keep it in there because eventually, a few months down the road, we're going to use them in class. So just keep those in that back pocket. Any questions about the binder?
Yes, does it come with like the actual binder, like the thing that you put the papers in?
Yes, yes, it does.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Good question. All right. Let's go back to my PowerPoint here. All right, we looked at the binder, and like I said, we will organize that as we go in class, but that's all you need to do for now to get it ready. So here I have a calendar, and I will be emailing this to you this week of the holidays. So I follow the traditional school schedule or calendar with all the holidays, especially the major ones, the Thanksgiving break and Christmas break and spring break. So I'm going to give you this through email, and that way you can save it to your desktop or wherever you want to put it with your calendar so that you know when those days come when there's no class. And that's another thing I would share with you on Remind, just to let you know, hey, we've got Easter break coming up, no classes between these dates. And so I'll remind you of those things, but that way you know ahead of time. And here I have, oh, yes, go ahead, Kathleen.
Snow days.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have class even if we have electricity, even though there's a unified school snow day? And because some places have no classes when they close the local school system.
Great question. I will still have class, but a lot of times,
As
you
long
know,
as electricity.
if there's electricity, exactly.
Okay.
If I don't have electricity or I don't have Wi-Fi or whatever, obviously I'll have to cancel class. But I do slow it down a little bit during that time because I know sometimes that lasts a while. But I do try to stay with the classes because I want to stay up with the schedule. But I always, on that note though, I always record my classes so that if you miss, if somebody's sick or you're out of town or your Wi-Fi is messed up or whatever, you can always go back and watch the recording of class so that you're never really behind. Okay. Great question though. People who, and Jude, let's see, I wrote it down here. You guys, you're in Bakersfield, right? Yeah. So you might not see snow. I mean, I remember it snowing in 1990. Was it 95? No, it was 98 or 99. Anyway, that's the last time it snowed. It's been a while. So in Bakersfield, you never know. All right, these are my rules and regulations for the class, or regulations, rules and procedures. How about that? So log into Zoom on time, leave your camera on during class. Some of this we've already talked about. Come prepared with supplies. Raise your hand for questions or comments. Mute if you have background noise. Write down homework assignments. Show respect while others are speaking. And then your homework, you'll notice on Google Classroom, it'll say homework due by week of like September 11th. And I leave it like that because I have classes all week long and I have everybody on the same Google Classroom. So if I say the homework is due week of, that means for you, it'll be due the Monday before your class. So your class is on Tuesdays. So by 5:00 p.m. on Mondays, that's when your homework is due. So that's when you turn it in. This is for in-person, so I'm going to skip that one. And now I'm going to show you Google Classroom, but I see. Oh, there you go. Yes, Chase, I see you. You live in Bakersfield. I forgot to mention that. You're in Bakersfield too. I used to be in Bakersfield. It's gotten to be a pretty big city in Bakersfield. Okay, I'm going to share now. I'm going to open a new tab here. Okay, so if you are on the computer that you will be using for my class, you can minimize the Zoom call and be able to log in live. Right now, I can walk you through it. If you use a different computer, you might have to do this after you log off with me. So I'll walk you through how to do it. Go ahead, Kathleen.
Is that just for the parents or the kids have to have their own Google Classroom?
The kids have to have their own Google Classroom because that is how I assign homework. So do your kids have a Gmail account yet or no?
Yes, I do. I have a Gmail account. Me and my
Okay.
sister both have a Gmail account.
Perfect. Okay. So you want to try to log in on the computer you're on right now?
No, because I don't know my Gmail password. I just do it with my iPad password.
Okay.
I forgot my
Okay,
actual.
but I've got one.
I have this class recorded. So if later you want to, rewatch it and pause it to log in. Oh, you're muted again. Okay. So up here if you go to Google and you see, I have a little icon with my picture, but yours might not have a picture in it. But if you click that icon at the top right, it opens up all your different Gmail accounts. Now I have a bunch of different ones and my husband has Gmail accounts. And so there might be a long list here, but what you're going to do is find yours where you have your email already logged in here. So I have Bob Smith on my list, and that is a fictitious student name that I've created. I'm going to pretend that I'm Bob, and I'm logging in to check my Google Classroom. So first I have to log into his Google account. So you'll see it changed to a red B up here. That's his. And next to that is what we call a waffle. It's a little grid right here. It has 9 little dots. If you click on that, it opens up a menu of different Google applications. Okay. Is anybody doing it right now? Or are you just watching me? Okay. I saw you.
I'm watching. I'll explain it to my
Okay.
mom after.
Okay. And Chase, I know you've done this before, so you can do it now or later. I'll show you the code in a minute and you can take a picture. That's what your mom was saying earlier. If I scroll through all these applications, by the way, Google's huge, they've pretty much taken over the world here. So if you scroll down, you will see Classroom as one of the applications. If you click Classroom, it opens up a new window like this. And you'll still see the B up here. You'll see a plus sign, but you'll also see a little pop-up right here that says either create class or join class, and you will join a class. So when you click join class, here is where you'll see your account. Make sure that's yours that you want to create or join a class with, and then a spot for a class code. The class code is, let me find it here. Should I give you guys the right code before I click that? This is a year 1 level B class. And so your code is right here. So if you want to take a second and take a snapshot of that with your cell phone, or if you're trying to log in right now, you can. That's the code. You would type that in. Yes, Matthew.
Are we able to do this on a mobile device? Because I don't know my Gmail account and I'm only signed into Gmail on my iPad.
Oh yeah, you can. I prefer the laptop or desktop only because it's bigger so you can see better as far as
I can do it on my iPad.
yes, you can. You can do it on your iPad. The only bummer about the iPad is you can't really type unless you have a little keyboard for it.
I have a keyboard.
Okay. Okay. If you want to use the iPad and Kathleen, if you're okay with that, that's fine with me. It'll work on a cell phone too, but that's really hard. Small, you know.
My iPad has a keyboard, so
You might be able to find your password from your pad.
I'll just do it on my iPad. I can just sign
Okay.
in really easy. I have this thing I could put it my iPad code in and it'll sign me in.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is just copy this so I can show you what it looks like when you actually put in your code. I'm back to that page where you enter your class code. Once you put the number and letters in there, you'll see this blue button on the upper right that says join. Click that. And now you've joined the Google Classroom, and this is how it'll look from your perspective. The name of the class is Year 1 Level B. That's your class from the book that you have for the class. And this first page is Stream. Right here at the top, you can see a tab for Stream, a tab for classwork, and a tab for people. So Stream is the main page where you'll see announcements from me, and you'll also see homework assignments that I've posted. For example, right here, Lori Cisneros posted a new assignment, homework due week of 9/11/23. Here, I have a note to you that says, welcome to Google Classroom. This is where I post announcements and important information. Please do not post on the stream. You may message me directly through the classwork tab. Looking forward to a great year of writing with you. This is C. So this is all public on this part. So that's why I don't want students to be posting right here on the stream page. But if you go up here to classwork, this is where you'll see your list of homework assignments. I only have one posted and it is there. It is a homework assignment. And when you click on it, it drops down your instructions. So here it says grammar, there's no grammar homework this week. And there is one assignment for this week, one paragraph. It's basically a baseline writing. And it says using Google Docs. Oh, by the way, I forgot to ask you guys. How about Jude? Are you typing or do you prefer handwriting your work?
I prefer handwriting.
Okay.
Well, he just started typing class, so that's the only
Okay.
reason he prefers handwriting. But he can type it.
Okay. For this class, it's nice to have it typed, but if you're still learning, I don't want it to be an added stress. So it's a little harder to have an interaction when it's a handwritten note. You'll have to handwritten assignment, scan it and upload it, which is possible. So if you prefer handwriting, then that's fine.
Well, I think within like the next week, 2 weeks to a month, I'll be fine of typing. So
Awesome. That'd be good. And I'll walk you through how to do that too. And Chase, I know you're typing now. You've been typing. How about Matthew and Alexandria?
I can both do typing and we can both do typing and handwriting. So we're
Okay.
comfortable with both.
Comfortable with both. Okay, if that's the case, I prefer typing because, like I said, I can interact. You would use Google Docs. Have you guys ever used Google Docs before?
No, you've not, but I know how to
Okay.
get to it.
Chase knows. Yeah. Okay.
Wait, Chase, is the Google Docs how to get to it? Is that just through the same way you get to Classroom?
Yeah, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll show you how to do that. When you're on this tab here for class
Hello?
work.
I'm sorry, you guys blacked out there.
Oh, okay. Can you see us now?
Yeah,
Okay.
you froze and I didn't
Oh,
know anything. Do you just get to Google Docs through the same way you get to Classroom?
Yep, I'm going to show you that in just a minute, actually. Yes.
All right.
So when you click on that homework assignment and you open it up, the instructions, this is more another way to look at your assignment. But notice you have a new window or a new tab right here, I guess you could call it, or pop up, whatever. And it says your work. It says add or create and mark as done. So we haven't done anything yet, but I'm going to pretend like I'm Bob and I'm going to click add or create. When I click on that, Matthew and everybody, you're going to see Google Drive, link, file, and Docs. Docs is what you want. This is like Microsoft Word. So when I click on Docs, it's going to open up here after it thinks for a minute. Okay, did you see what I just did? I wanted to make sure to show you that. It opened up this extra tab right here that says Bob Smith, and it says Google Docs. When I clicked on that, it opened up a new tab, and this is a blank document. And this is set up like Microsoft Word, where you have all of your tools up here at the top. This one right here, and I know I'm going kind of quick, so it'll take a little bit to get used to it. It's okay. This one that has the up and down arrow is the spacing. And I do prefer double space, and I'll remind you of that in class. But when I click double, and then over here, I'm going to put Bob Smith, and then today's date is September 5th, 2023. And then I'm going to return a couple of times, and there I just need your name and date, and then you're going to type your paragraph. Now, when you're done typing, this, by the way, if you want to explore that later, that's fine. I'm just going to dismiss that for now. But once you're done typing your homework, you're going to go back to your classroom, Google Classroom, and it's in a separate tab at the top. I'm going to pretend like I'm done with my homework now, and now I can click turn in, because see, it's still attached right there. And so if I hover over that, it'll show me Bob Smith, homework due week of 9/11/23. That's what I was just typing in. And if I hit turn in, and it'll say one attachment will be submitted, and it'll match the name of the homework, and you click turn in. Now it's turned in. Notice you have a new button here that says unsubmit. So let's say you're like, oh, I forgot to put my name on it. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Click unsubmit, unsubmit. Then you can actually go back to it, put your name on it, and then turn it back in. Any questions? I know I'm going through a lot right now, but do you guys have any questions for me? Kathleen?
Yes. So I, as the parent who don't know my kid's password, how do I review their homework?
You would have to know their password. Oh,
I can just show it to her.
okay. Let me think about that, because I think you can.
I can just show it to her on my iPad screen.
You can log in as a student, Kathleen, but you wouldn't be able to see their work. So I think the only way for you to see their work is to log in as them, or have them log in and show you.
Okay.
I'll just show
Probably
it.
the best. Yeah, that's probably the best. You can just show her what you're doing. Kathleen or Jude, do you guys have any questions? No, you're good? Okay. That's just a little quick tutorial about Google Classroom. There's more to it, but we'll learn it as we go. I don't want to overwhelm you guys too much right here. And Chase, if you think of anything that I forgot, let me know. The Remind app. I mentioned this earlier. So if you could get out your cell phones, this is mostly for parents, but if students, you want to be connected this way too, I'm fine with that. I have some students on there. But when you go to deliver a text and you click that little where it has the pencil, like you're creating a new text, and you go to where you normally put in a phone number, you put in 81010. And then in the message part, put the @ symbol Cisneros W. and send that, and then that will connect you to my Remind app, and it'll upload it onto your phone. And that's just an app. All it is to communicate. So like I said, if I need to get a message out quick, because sometimes, you know, something comes up and I have to cancel a class or whatever, that's the best way to communicate. Kathleen?
I have Remind already for.
Okay.
Okay, so I've gone into it, it says create new class. Can I do that and then somehow put that code in?
You don't want to create a new class. I would still try to join this way.
There's join existing class.
You can join existing, and I can tell you what the code, well, I think,
What I don't want is I don't want 2 Remind apps or,
oh,
I've got it comes up and it says enter class code.
okay, let's see here.
8.
So this is the class code at Cisneros
Okay.
W. So try it that way.
Okay, so let me see.
All lowercase.
Okay, do you join Cisneros writing class? Okay,
Good, yay.
okay.
See if I got you on my end too. Let's see. Were you able to find it, Shelley? I got you, Kathleen. I got you in here. And I got Jude. Did you have a question, Chase?
I can't, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that, because I'm in a place where there's no cellular data, but there's Wi-Fi because there's like a cable, but there's no cellular data, so I don't think I can.
Okay. That's okay. Your mom is in here already, so you're good. You can join it later when you get back home if you want. So I have Jude. I don't know, Shelley, do you want to log in too?
Well, that's actually my phone because his
Oh.
phone is always turned off.
Okay,
Is
perfect.
that okay? Or do you want me to switch that to parent?
Nope, that's good. I'll remember that.
Okay.
If I forget, you can just remind me because I might go, hey, Jude, and you're like, hey.
That's okay if you do. I can just give it to him.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, awesome. So we got that. Let's see. So that was it for my little presentation here. Let me just double check my notes because I was going to do a little scavenger hunt, but we're quickly running out of time. So maybe we could just do a couple things. Have you guys ever done a scavenger hunt on Zoom before? Chase said,
No,
yeah.
I have not.
Okay. So this is kind of fun. Chase says yes. Have you ever done it before, Jude, on Zoom? Okay. So basically, it's just something fun to do where you have to go find something that I tell you, and you have 1 minute to go find it and bring it back to the camera. And if you're first, you get 2 points. But if you're not first, but you make it within the minute, you get 1 point. Okay, so it's just a little fun game just to kind of have some fun together today. So you guys understand the rules? I'm going to tell you an item, and you have to stay in front of the camera, and then I'll tell you the item, and then you have to go find that item and bring it back. You know, and your mom can work with you. Don't break anything. Don't knock anything over, okay? So, okay, the first item, you have 1 minute to go get it and bring it back to the camera. Set my timer here. Hold on. Get my timer going. For 1 minute. Okay, so your first item is something red from the kitchen. From the kitchen. Ready, go. Find something red in the kitchen and bring it back to the camera.
Let's just switch places.
Oh, you already got one. That was fast.
Just switch places with him because he has to climb over something to get in and out of his chair. So
Okay. So you were the first one, Judy. You got 2 points. Oh yeah, there you go. That's a good one. Is that a piece of fruit?
It's a peach.
A peach. Nice. Okay, you got a point, Matthew. Did you find anything, Alexandria?
I found a spatula.
Perfect.
There we have it.
Matthew has one. Alexandria has one. Jude has two. I don't know what happened to Chase. You have 10 seconds, Chase, if you can hear me. 8, 7, 6.
Moms.
Oh, yeah, you got it. Good job.
Okay, I have a problem. I think Google Classroom is too much of an overload for my iPad, so I'm gonna just create a new Google account. Or you know what? I'm gonna create a new Google account. Wait. Okay, we don't have two computers is the problem.
You're sharing.
You can use the same computer like for the Zoom call,
Yeah,
but
but
then when you do your homework, you'll have to take turns on the computer. that's-
okay. I didn't know if we could do that or not.
You can do that. You can take turns as long as you remember that little dot with the B for Bob, as long as that dot is your dot and you do your homework. And then when Alexandria logs in, as long as that dot is her dot, then you're good. You can share the same computer. Okay.
It's not working. Classroom does not work on my iPads.
Well, let me know, Matthew, if you struggle, or Kathleen can call me or whatever. I can help you guys figure that out. You have a week. Let's do one more item for the game and then we're going to stop, okay? Because it was kind of, you guys did really good with that. Let me pick a good one. Okay. You ready? I want you to go get a hairbrush. Everybody has to bring a hairbrush. Ready, go. A hairbrush. Time is ticking. Oh man, you're fast, Jude. That was quick. You didn't break anything, did you? Okay, good. Didn't trip over anything? Okay, I see Alexandria, Matthew, awesome. Chase is still somewhere. Oh, he's on vacation, so it might be a little harder for him. He's probably having to go through suitcases and stuff. 20 seconds, Chase, if you can hear me. 15. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3. Did you get it?
No.
That's all right. That's all right. Okay, so Jude is the big winner because he got first both times. So you got 4 points, Jude. Matthew and Alexandria, you got 2 points, and then Chase has 1 point. So good job, you guys. That was pretty fun. So your homework, as you saw on, I'm going to share one more time the Google Classroom. And you do have a homework assignment. But don't worry, it's not very much. It's really, really light. Oops, nope, that's not what I wanted. Hold on a second. Let me open this. Share this. Okay. Your homework, when you get to it, it just says using Google Docs, write one paragraph, 3 to 5 sentences. That's it. 3 to 5 sentences. Super easy, right? About how to make your favorite ice cream sundae. And maybe you're not an ice cream fan, but you can pretend to be an ice cream fan if you're not. And you're just going to show me what you got. And honestly, if this is, if it's taking you a long time to come up with 2 sentences or whatever, just give me what you got. Okay, you guys. I know Chase knows how to at least do 5 sentences because he's been working with me. So show me 3 to 5 sentences on how to make an ice cream sundae. It's good practice for you to get on Google Classroom, be able to log into Google Docs, type it up. I do like it double spaced, but we'll talk about that in class next week. And Next week, we'll start with our grammar and our IEW binder. So that's it from me. Any final thoughts or comments, questions, anything that you can think of?
Okay, so one thing, I already said this, but my iPad is not wanting to load up Classroom, so
Hmm.
can I just like,
We'll take a look at it later, okay?
yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, well, you can use a desktop too for
Oh yeah,
the
I'm just gonna use this computer that we're on right now.
Okay.
I'll create a separate account.
It's not here.
With your mom, you can always YouTube how to log into Google Classroom on an iPad, and there might be some
I
trick.
can get into Google Classroom. I'm signed into it, but it's not thinking, it's just loading. It doesn't actually
Oh,
get a URL or anything.
it might be because you're on Zoom. I don't know. Try it again later after you're
I'm
done.
not on my iPad right now. I'm just,
Oh, I see.
We don't want to
Hmm.
take time.
Okay. Well, like I said, let me know if you guys need help, and we can do a separate Zoom, and I can just help you focus on that if you need it. Okay. So we'll help you figure it out. I see your hand, Jude. Did you have a question?
I actually do. So
Okay.
since we haven't used Google Docs before, I'm sure after doing it once we'll be fine. If there's, I'll try and have him do, or he'll just get it done during the week, that assignment, so that we're not waiting until Monday. But if we have an issue with it, like we can't forget a step, do we just message you and then you can Zoom us or something? Okay.
You can message me. I recorded this, so if you want to go back and kind of fast forward
Right.
to this part, you can see how I did it. And then if you aren't ready to type yet, Jude, and you want to handwrite it, let me know and I can walk you through how to upload a photo or a scan too, if you want.
That part we can upload,
Yeah.
but I think he'd be fine
Okay.
typing just that amount. It's a short thing, so.
It's short. Yeah, this one's short. So yeah, just be in touch with me through Remind or email or text message is okay with me as well. And I'll just get back to you and, let me know. I definitely want you guys to let me know if you have any trouble or any questions or anything. So, all right. Well, if nobody has any more questions, I'm done for today. Next week, same time, same link. Everything's pretty much the same, but make sure if your binder and your book don't come in on time, Jude, just let me know and I can send you a copy of what we'll be doing so you're not behind on that. Or maybe it was Matthew and Alexandria. You guys are still waiting, huh? Yeah.
we're waiting on our binders.
Forgot. Okay.
We're going to town today, so we're just gonna check the mailbox if
Yeah.
think.
Okay. Cool. All right, you guys. Great job. And I will see you next week. Everybody have a good rest of the day.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.